welcome into DNVR Buffs Podcast, presented by Legal Beats.
Wait, hang on.
Uh-oh.
God dang it. Pause. This audio board keeps dying today. Yeah, like it doesn't connect. So we'll just restart.
Restart.
What is up, Buff Nation? Welcome into DNVR Buffs Prime Time.
Nice.
We are presented by Illegal Pete's,
Damn straight.
everyone's go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beers. The great Andre has rejoined the show. Welcome back, brother.
Let's go. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
to Buff Nation, to all our phenomenal listeners, producer Alyssa, and RK. Definitely twerking. Rumors are definitely twerking today.
It's not even a conversation.
Yeah.
He's out there at Circa in Vegas and living it up with the Broncos crew. So,
Oh, man.
you know,
Great stuff.
we're just dedicated to the grind, though, Dre. You know,
We are.
we
We
just gotta
are.
go to work.
We love ball. We love talking with each other. We love Illegal Pete's. Can we make a point of grabbing lunch at Pete's next week, please?
Absolutely.
Okay. Alyssa, would you join us? Sounds
Let's
really
go.
nice. Yeah.
Buffs crew at Legal Pete's.
Let's do it, baby. Phenomenal.
Can't wait.
Yes.
All right.
How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm great.
Yeah?
I am. I'm wishing that the national championship game was sooner.
Yeah. It is that season where we start getting sad about
Yeah.
football leaving us, but thankfully with these jobs we have reason to keep watching football
course.
even when the season's over.
Well, we're just about to hit draft season, baby.
Oh, I cannot
We
wait.
coming. All right, we'll get into a draft of our favorite transfers here in a bit. We'll
There
talk
you
some
go.
OCDC stuff, but we start off with this. Heisman odds have been released from a certain sports book,
Yes.
not one of our
yes.
favorites, but
No.
a certain sports book has put out some odds, and no Shedeur Sanders. We're just going to start there right off the top.
Mad.
Not even listed. It goes all the way down. There's like
Absolute madness.
15 to 18 guys on this list,
Yeah.
probably more,
Yeah.
and it goes down to plus 5,000 odds. No Shedeur Sanders. What
I
are we
mean-
doing?
Yeah. It's that jumps out. Whoever made these odds strikes you of someone that doesn't know ball.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they're like these odds are like if Stephen A. Smith made the odds. You know, like it's you only follow the big headlines. You think that Ewers, Carson Beck, Jalen Milroe
Yep.
are the favorites, and Dylan Gabriel. You know, like what are you crazy?
Insane.
You know, and then you don't have like DJ Ukulele's on here.
How is he even on here? It makes no sense.
But no Shedeur, no Travis Hunter. Insane. How's Noah Fiafita not higher on here?
I mean, we can talk
Nuts.
about him, but he's been balling since he got in the starting lineup.
Absolutely incredible.
He actually deserves to be on this list.
Yes, hottest team in the cut, but he doesn't deserve to be plus 4,000.
No.
He should be in the like Ewers range in the plus 750s. You know, like Will Howard just transferred to Ohio State. Why is he not on here? They have
Right.
Devin Brown on here. Nuts. Madness.
Absolute madness. We even have Nico Iamaleva on here. He played the bowl game against Iowa. They beat the hell out of him. Threw 19 passes and 1 touchdown. And he is above almost all those guys you just mentioned.
It's so SEC heavy. It's really really kind of disgusting. You know, Connor Wigman, The A&M quarterback. Come on, get out of here.
I mean, it literally is. It starts with Ewers.
Yep.
Ewers, Beck, Milrow, Gabriel, Imaleva, Jackson Arnold. These are all SEC schools.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Even J.J. McCarthy being plus 1,800. It's wild.
It is wild. Shedeur,
Shedeur should be like
I mean, look, at least plus 2,000.
in the plus 2,000 range is what I was going to say.
Yeah.
And Travis shouldn't be that far off.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
It makes no sense. Let's talk through the path then.
Also, no running backs. Just an upsetting list.
It's literally all quarterbacks.
Yeah,
Gross.
gross.
Let's talk about Shedeur's path to winning this award then.
Let's.
Because, I mean, it's clear. You win games and you put up numbers. That's how you win the Heisman Trophy, right?
Sure.
But
He has already put up numbers.
He has already put up numbers. And Ryan talked about this yesterday. When you look at Shedeur's stats, there's, you look at his freshman year at JSU. It's actually pretty similar statistically to what he did this last year at CU. And he jumped up to like 40 touchdowns, like increased by nearly 1,000 passing yards in that second year at JSU. There's going to be a statistical increase for sure. Absolutely.
Well, if protection's better, I think the schedule might be easier. We forget that last year was quite the gauntlet they had to play through.
Oh, of course.
And then, I mean, the experience, the supporting cast around them, the protection, familiarity with the offense, which we'll get into when we talk coordinators. It all lines up to where you'd think he should be poised for a really big year. Also, usually when you pick these Heisman odds, you kind of look at some of the passing yard leaders from a season ago. It's right up there.
They don't know
what
ball.
these guys are doing.
Along, like you said,
They don't
easier.
know ball, but this smells of a anti-buff agenda.
It's on 3 who put this out first.
Wow.
They saw this and they couldn't wait.
Shots fired.
They
I
knew.
love that.
247 did put it out today too as well. But when you look at this, these odds down here at the bottom, Avery Johnson, Kansas State is there. Jalen Daniels, Kansas is there. They're on the schedule. Must wins. You got to beat those quarterbacks. You got to have big showings in those games. And we can even talk the playoff here because they're talking how they're going to fix the AQs, the automatic qualifiers, because the Pac-12 has just disintegrated. They're going, I think they have to vote on it still, but they're saying 5 AQs and 7 at-larges. 7 at-larges is insane.
Who would be the 5th AQ?
G5.
Right, as opposed to the 6.
Yep.
7 at-larges is nuts. It's going to be madness.
So even if you, I know LSU was like 12 or 13. I'll get the rankings pulled up here in a second, but those teams in that 8 to 12 range, 8 to even 15 range, are all 2 and 3 loss teams.
Yeah. Actually, I do wonder how the 12-team playoff does change how we're looking at the Heisman race,
Sure.
Because now it's been so focused on those top 4 teams that, you wonder, like, the teams on the bubble would have been LSU, Arizona, and Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And Fiafita, could he have had more buzz had there been more of a conversation of, wait, Arizona's the hottest team in the country. They should be in the playoff right now,
Yeah. They will play, I think, Arizona as well. I think they go to Tucson actually next year. So that's another guy. So there's 3 other contenders on this list. This isn't even mentioning all the actual upgrades the team has done in terms of the O-line.
Right.
Will Shepard, these wide receivers, Travis in year 3. Jimmy in year 3 or 4, whatever he's in.
Yeah. Oh, and hopefully a good run of health.
Of course.
For both those guys, Shedeur was definitely banged up by the end of the year.
Is this just the anti-Colorado agenda then?
Some of these I understand, and it's just a little bit, maybe not anti-anything. It's a bit of a simpleton's mindset, a bit of a an idiot's Heisman list, if you will. But then when you see something like the A&M quarterback, that's where I really get suspicious of what are you up to here? Because A&M has just as hard of a path as Colorado.
Sure.
Harder.
Of course.
And if you watch Shedeur and the Wigman kid, it would be clear as day to you who is more likely between those two to be competing for a Heisman next year. Clear as day.
It's not close.
Right.
I mean, NFL like draft evaluators still talk about Shedeur being like QB 3 or 4 if he were to come out this year.
Of course, yeah.
I don't know. It's insane because I feel like this time last year he was actually on some of these lists.
Yes.
So what changed when he went and proved he could play at an FBS level? He was obviously beating the hell up. You know, the last episode of the Prime documentary came out. He had like a strained Achilles. Both ankles were, I think, a lower grade sprain too. And then his back fracture, of course. Like the dude was held together by duct tape basically at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Now you get this new and improved offensive line. Jordan Seaton in front of him. You tell me he can't be better? More stats? It's crazy.
It's really wild, but there is, there is a lot of doubt in Colorado, and people love to pile on after things didn't necessarily go as you would have hoped in the second half of the season last year. And, people are taking their shots now.
That's true. One more thing. I mean, Ewers and Milroe were just in the playoff.
Yes.
They're 2 of the top 3 on this list.
Yeah.
The other one being Carson Beck. Georgia could have been a playoff team this year for sure.
Totally.
If Shedeur is on any of these teams.
Oh, he's the top guy.
Can you imagine? Exactly.
Absolutely. He's the top guy.
That's what doesn't make sense at all about any of this.
JJ McCarthy also in the playoff.
He's on this
featured
list
on there, but lower.
plus 1,800 for him.
Yeah, I mean, to me, those top 3 guys, plus JJ, plus Fiafita, plus Shedeur and Travis, that would be my short list. That's the beginning of my top 10 right there. Everyone else, it's so hard to know. The Tennessee kid, even Dylan Gabriel. I mean, that offense is going to be completely different at Oregon. No Bucky Irving, no Troy Franklin, I'm assuming. He's going to lose his starting center, new conference. I mean, it's all a complete unknown.
Well, and we just saw what Bo Nix did this year, and I think he was invited to New York, but it was really a one-man race, but it was a 2-man race between Penix and Daniels at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, once he lost twice to Washington, that was done and dusted. His ability,
but he's like running this. Like, all credit to him. He's putting up all these touchdowns, all these yards. Like,
I mean, it's why Gabriel's getting his respect. But again, you're projecting what Gabriel could do based on what Bo Nix can do. Colorado, you just need to project what Shedeur Sanders did a year ago with some improvement and some general team improvement. I can't wait for a team total to come out, because if this is the perception. What's that line going to be set? 5.5 wins again?
Some early ones have come out for 6.5.
Which again feels low.
Absolutely.
Where are you going to vote them to finish in the Big 12 this year, do you think? Have you thought about that?
Higher than 8th, that's for
Hell
sure.
yeah. Good call.
Higher than 8th.
Do we know? New conference. Do we know if you'll get a vote?
I don't know. I didn't even know I had a vote till we were going through like media day credentials and stuff.
Let's submit those media day credentials now. Let's get the ball rolling on that, Jake.
I don't have Big 12 contacts yet. I don't know.
Oh, boy. We're in for some real learning experiences.
We are.
Folks. Giddy up.
Everyone's changing conferences here, bud. It's not just the team.
So true. Even I'm preparing for this segment. There's a list of commitments I'm going through.
Yeah.
To get to Colorado, Big 12. Not Pac-12 anymore. It's going to be an adjustment for a second. Yeah.
Well, and you can go to the Pac-12, and there's literally only 2 teams there.
That's so sad, man.
Isn't it?
That's
I know.
sad. Oh.
It's just like kind of rubbing their nose in it. Like, look at what happened. Look at what you did
really
in this conference.
It really is. Oh, boy.
If Shedeur did have odds, what would they be, I guess, on this list? Like plus 10,000, I guess?
Yeah, right. Which anyone would hammer away.
Yeah. If you find that line, go take it.
Like, the point of odds is to give out odds that are like reasonable to bet on.
Mm-hmm.
Not something that you can't even offer to the public or we'd hammer it
Right.
savagely, you know?
Right.
What are you doing? And then when all the lists come out, you know, the short list, the preseason list, he'll be
Yeah.
on that.
Of course he will.
There'll be no congruency here.
We'll remember
These
this.
line setters. Yeah, we don't forget.
Remember this.
We don't forget.
January 5th, that Shedeur was not on the list of Heisman Trophy
January 5th.
candidates. Remember this.
Yes, never forget.
Too bad we can't gamble on the Heisman odds out here in Colorado. But you can in Vegas, where our good friend RK is at Circa Sportsbook and Casino.
Let's go.
Circa. The wonderful Circa.
Oh, my gosh.
You know, there's not many places I'd rather be than here right now, but Circa's one of them.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Love that for us.
You know those guys are going to live it up. You can go hang out there with them this weekend, or you can hang out with the Avs crew for Avs Nights. Pac-12 tournament coming up here in March, and the Mountain West tournament as well. Circa's just awesome, man. Massive casino, world class. They got stadium swim. They got 500 luxury rooms. It's adults only, so it makes all that ID process super, super easy. Book your stay with code DNVR20, and you can get 20% off. Also, check out the Circa Sportsbook that's available in Colorado. Download the app at circasports.com. Circa Sports bets can only be made while physically located in the state of Colorado. Must be 21 or older. All rights reserved. Circa Sports Colorado encourages you to gamble responsibly. If you have a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER or visit problemgamblingcolorado.org.
Nicely done. Last night, all-time night of
Incredible.
Sports. Just incredible. Avs, Buffs, sadly, not what we hoped for, but there's a long season ahead. And we were able to watch it all thanks to Fubo TV. Sign up. Use the link in our description, FuboTV.com/DNVR. Check out the QR code. I have loved them. I've got their app on my Roku TV. Super easy to sign in. You can, me and the family, maybe we share a few profiles, you know, so everyone can get in on the fun. I can log in with it on the ESPN app to get even more stuff there. It's been awesome to use. You, of course, get ESPN. No blackouts on Fox or any of that. And Altitude, Pac-12 Network, NFL Network. Their Red Zone package is super affordable. Last week to get in on the fun with Red Zone. You name it, man. I've been a little tennis pilled.
Wow.
I've been grinding some tennis channel stuff. You know, great matchups. They've got that available to you. Holy shit. I saw they had Italian League basketball on there one day.
Fubo goes hard.
Fubo goes so hard if you know ball. For example, these Heisman odds people, if they had Fubo,
Probably
they
true.
would be able to know Dylan Gabriel, you're a little premature to put him at under plus 2,000. So don't be like these idiot odds makers for the Heisman. Be a ball knower and get in on the fun with Fubo. Watch all your favorite college football and NFL with Fubo. Go to www.FuboTV.com/DNVR to sign up for 15% off your first month. And, you know, it's all streaming. You can cancel month to month. It's a beautiful deal. I love it. It's the future of television. Check them out, man.
You just reminded me this is the last weekend of NFL Red Zone, and now I'm even more sad for
It's
this weekend.
super sad, man.
Can't believe
I know.
this.
I know. I mean, it happens to us every year. It's like we can't believe the football season is over, and we have such mixed feelings because we kind of get our lives back.
Yeah.
But
It's not the
football
same.
is our lives,
Yeah,
you know? Like,
it's not the same.
what was it worth having this life back if this life doesn't have football, you know? What life is it
True.
if it is a football-less life?
Very
It's tough.
true.
Very tough. Very tough.
You know, they call it seasonal depression, but it's actually really just
Off-seasonal.
yeah, it's off-season depression. That's what it
Terrible.
is.
Oh, God. That's good stuff, Jake. I like that.
All right, the portal's closed. We've seen a few names kind of trickle in and out. This week, Willie Gaines, Kendrick Breedlove have left. Some guys have entered the portal from other schools. Quidshawn Jenkins, that one was crazy.
Yeah.
But we're going to kind of, in a way of reviewing this transfer class, we're going
Yes.
to draft our favorite transfers here.
Let's go.
Who is first on this, Alyssa? Me, I guess.
Yeah.
Love it. Snake draft
All
style.
right, snake draft.
Hell
That's
yeah.
fair. With my first pick, I got to go Will Shepard. You gotta. We just spent a whole segment talking about Shedeur winning the Heisman.
Yeah, he's a big part of that.
It's going to be because of Will Shepard that we're going to have those conversations next season. He is just a plug-and-play Xavier Weaver replacement. He's even a little bit bigger.
Yep. With a little more pop to him.
Yeah, I mean, this guy has great length. He has no problem taking the ball off DB's heads. Like, he'll go up and over the top for any big plays. He can make big plays with his legs.
Yeah.
He's going to be a beast at Colorado. Will Shepard, number 1.
That's a great pick. I really came into this, if I had the second and third pick, thinking the ideal goal would be to get Wiggins and Shepard in this 1-2. Because, Shepard just has me super intrigued. Of all the transfers, he's the one who's shown the most already at the college level. So a bit more of a safe pick in some ways, and yet still tons of upside, still tons to get excited about and sell yourself on. So good pick. Credit to you. My first pick is going to be Quincy Wiggins.
Let's go.
The all-world defensive lineman out of LSU. This is a kid who, coming into his draft class, into his recruiting class, was
top recruit in Louisiana.
Yeah, super highly touted. A kid they were able to get out of Baton Rouge, out of LSU. He's got the size. He had the size as a true freshman, and he's in a position of heavy need.
Mm-hmm.
I think the impact could be absolutely instant and mesmerizing what Wiggins can do on that defensive front. I also think there's going to be some versatility, the ability to use them,
Sure.
a little bit inside, outside.
A great pick, man. I mean, RK is all on Samuel Okunlola, the pit edge, to be the breakout edge.
Yes.
I'm with you, though. I think Quincy Wiggins has a chance to be a complete game changer for this defense for all the reasons you just said.
Yeah.
There's, 3 or 4 edges we've picked up in this transfer class, and
Yes.
all of them are very promising. So, great pick. You go again.
Yeah, and him I like because it's not just his edge ability, but I think that defensive line help he can provide, like if it is still a front 3.
Mm-hmm.
Which, what would you guess?
What?
Even front, odd front? We keep what
Who
Coach
knows at
Kelly
this
was
point?
doing? Yeah. Wide open.
I don't know.
Tough to say.
I mean, we have a whole new team or kind of whole new pieces to really deal with here.
With how they've recruited, I wouldn't be surprised if you went to a 4-man line, though, right? Like, try to limit those bigger dudes.
Right. And with guys like Quincy Wiggins, who is just massive.
Because he could play some 3 technique, right? And be your,
for
penetrating defensive tackle.
He's at 275. Why not? Keaton Wade is another 250-pound edge rusher.
Yes, he's big.
Okunlola is only listed at 235, but he looks like another big kid. He's 6'4" as well.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. They went with a lot more standing edges this last year. It's tough to say at this point. I don't know. What would you do?
I think I'd probably go 4-man front.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big 12 is so many 3-man fronts. It's so many super light 3-3-5s with 250-pound edge rushers as one of your front 3. It's crazy. That's how K-State, TCU play.
Iowa
it's
State.
nuts, man. Yeah. Ukinlola is going to be my second pick, though. I'm going to double up on the defensive line.
Bookends.
The pit edge rusher, he's really just he's got 3 years of eligibility for reals.
Yeah, he was I believe a redshirt freshman last year, or maybe a true freshman.
Crazy to think.
No, redshirt freshman.
Those highlights you watch from him of Pitt are him as in his first year in the ACC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nuts. With 6 tackles for a loss, 5 sacks. The length really stands out.
Yeah,
I think there's a ton of extra weight he can put on, but the pass rushing chops are evident to see, and he's just got a real clean path to how he operates and does things. It's
Yep.
just like, length, agility. This guy's got it. He'll be able to get after the passer. Very excited for what the former Pitt Panther number 8 brings to the table. You think he gets to keep number 8? I know obviously single digits are a big deal in this team. Was anyone rocking 8 last year? And the chat can help us out. I can look up a roster while you make your next pick.
I'm trying to think who was number 8 last year.
I'm going to have to look it up.
I've got it right here. Oh, it's Jaquez.
Oh, well then.
So, I mean, maybe. Who knows? I don't know if, I mean.
Some badass jersey swag from Jaquez and the 8 jersey.
I think we may need a reshuffling of the single digits, though, for many reasons.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Just saying, we have a few openings now. Javon Antonio, I mean, 4 is available on the offensive side of the ball, so we'll see.
Okay.
Good picks, though. I like getting the bookends there. I'm going to go Preston Hodge.
That's a good one. You've been very high on Preston.
The former Liberty defensive back, played corner, kind of played all over the place for them.
Yeah.
Played in the slot, would like switch sides on which corner he played.
Ball hawk.
He's a ball hawk. He could probably play some safety as well.
Yeah.
He was a JUCO player for 2 years before he got to Liberty last year, and was basically the best defensive back in the G5. Had the ball production, had the coverage grades, just had everything. So give me Preston Hodge to kind of solidify the secondary and wherever he fits in, whether it's safety or nickel, opposite Travis, whatever it is.
It's a great pick. I mean, having a playmaker like that back there is going to be huge. And I mean, I went more upside. You went more immediate. Like, you hope Quincy and Sam Okunlola can contribute next year. And I mean, they're huge positions of need to kind of like achieve your tippy top goals. You're going to need those guys, or at least some of these dudes on that edge and D-line room to step up.
Right.
For the Buffs to really achieve what they need, Shepard and Hodge, you're not hoping, you need them to kind of be as advertised, right?
Yeah. Interesting split there. I got 2 grad transfers. You got 2 young kids. So.
Right. I've always been about upside, you know?
I feel that.
Dog.
Me again, huh?
Yeah.
All right. I'm kind of torn here, man.
Yeah, now I'm worried.
I feel like I kind of have to take DJ Lundy, but
Ryan would approve.
He would approve. But then I think of guys like Tyler Johnson and Justin Mayers at the guard position.
Yeah.
Which was probably the worst position on the team last year.
Yeah.
Were the guards.
Uh-huh.
Even someone like Chidozie Nwankwo. Just a fire hydrant in the middle of that defensive line. What that could do for you.
Yes.
I'm going to take Tyler Johnson.
Oh, man.
I'm going to take Tyler Johnson.
It's a great pick.
Very strong hands.
It's a really great pick.
A mauler.
Yeah.
Just a lockdown guard, basically. Both those guys. I mean, I could have gone either way here and felt perfectly fine with Mayers
For sure.
or Tyler Johnson. Just giving Shedeur time and not allowing pressure in his face immediately off the snap is going to change so many things. So give me Tyler Johnson.
Proven starter. He brings the size. I mean, he's going to be a tone setter up front. I think a really important guy for Jordan Seaton, any other recruits they might bring in really helping provide a steadying force. And, I mean, again, a tone-setting type of guy to kind of rely upon to open holes for the run game and just straight up set the tone. Okay. My final 2 picks. We'll make things easy with this first one and go DJ Lundy. Love all the content you guys have put out on Lundy. Love how good he is against the run, how stout he is as a downhill linebacker and run defender. 6'1", 244, just what the doctor ordered. Mm-hmm. And, less speculative than some of the linebackers that were on this unit last year. This guy was doing it at a high level in the ACC last year. And we should fully expect that he's going to kind of pick up where he left off and really fill that need.
Sure.
We'll see who you have playing linebacker next to him, but he's going to be your 2 down, hammer downhill, taking care of those rundowns and what have you.
We saw what this defense looked like when they had a great veteran linebacker and Juju Mitchell out there. And you get another one now who's hopefully going to be available for all 12 games next year, all potentially 13, 14 games next year.
It's a great point.
And, I mean, Juju could have had 115, 130, even more tackles this year if he kept playing at that level and was available the entire season.
Yeah, I just think of how often we were talking after games and being like, man, wasn't for Shiloh or Trevor cleaning up, how many more yards does Team X have against the Buffs in the open field? DJ should really help alleviate that and just be there checking guys over the middle.
Sure.
That's going to be lots of fun. This final pick is so hard.
Yeah, where are you going here?
So hard. Part of me wants to double up on edge and
triple up on edge.
Triple up. That's exactly right. And go with like Keaton Wade and the size that he brings from Kentucky, Chidozie Nwankwo, what he did at Houston and how he fills a need. He's extremely intriguing. I tell you, Walter Taylor has me very intrigued.
Yeah?
Yes.
Walter Taylor guy,
Walter Taylor, yes. The quarterback out of Andy, the size, athleticism. What some special packages could look like for him, And just, not having that huge drop-off from your backup is really massive.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of, like, taking that next step in your maturity as a program. And you've mentioned him already, Justin Myers, UTEP. I really like the tape I saw of him. He just moves really well.
Yep.
He's a really solid guy, and he gets downhill. I love those guys who move well, get downhill on pulls, block well at the second level. And Justin Myers is that. So, I've gone projection early. I'm going to go a smidge safer and go with a proven starter. A guy who at least was getting all-conference honorable mentions at UTEP. Give me Justin Myers here.
Nice pick.
Thanks, buddy.
One of the better offensive linemen in the entire G5 as well, I think.
That's right.
And just a road grader. Graded out extremely high in his run grade.
Do you think he starts?
Oh, yeah. I think it's Tyler Johnson and Justin Mayer. Both played left guard, so it's going to be interesting to see who flips, but those are your starting guards.
Mayer's got some stuff to his game where I think he could even play center if they wanted to convert him and fill that.
Yeah. I mean, we got to find a center, too.
Yeah.
Tyler Brown's working at center, I know.
Love that.
It could be one of these two, Tyler Johnson or even Justin Mayers as well. And they brought in a center. They brought in Yakiri Walker, too.
Right.
He's just got to bulk up. So if he gets bulked up, it's wide open. It's 4 or 5, probably even more guys in contention for that spot.
Yeah, it's great to have all that depth there. Really is.
For my last pick, I'm between 2 guys.
Lay it on us.
Chidozie Nwankwo again.
Yeah.
And then Shimon Mater, the tight end out of Cincy.
Yes, a big name that I could have probably talked about more, but did not.
It's fair.
Yeah, no,
you got a starting offensive lineman, probably the leading tackler on next year's team there.
Yeah. I had to take care of my bread and butter, the trenches on those later picks. What is the case for Shimon Mater?
The case for Shimon Mater is just looking at what Michael Harrison did this season and thinking about what that would look like with someone who has been playing tight end, who doesn't have to learn a position, who is more filled out with their frame, just bigger, more able to be a complete Y rather than a flex Y.
Yes. Mismatch problem.
You're not I don't want to say the field was tilted against them. It's just they never had he was a non-factor in the run game, Michael Harrison was. Just complete non-factor. He just wasn't big enough or capable enough to block, these big edges or these 5-3 techniques, guys coming across on split zones and stuff. So
Right.
that's the Shimon Mateer argument. I do feel like since I already took Will Shepherd, though, I got to take Chidozie. We need a defensive presence in the middle. He has production. He's done it before. Kind of just a gritty player. Was a 3-star recruit coming out of Texas, stayed at Houston, kind of a hometown kid, and just played a lot of football. 41 career games.
Yeah, you love that.
Has gotten into the backfield, has blocked kicks. And you talk about Houston, you think about guys like Ed Oliver, who were slightly undersized, who played with great leverage.
Yeah, no, he's very active. I mean, that's the thing. It's just a factor. He impacts the game in a ton of different ways. So you got to love that. Yeah, I think that's a good pick right there. It's a really good pick. You went with the veterans, man. You really went veteran heavy here. But I get it. I mean, probably the easier guys to evaluate, too.
Look at these names, though. That's probably 8 starters. 8 new starters you got in from the portal. Like, I don't know. Maybe one of the edge guys, Wiggins or Okunlola, loses out to Keaton Wade or something. But, like,
right.
Those guys are all going to play a lot. And they are all steps up from who they are replacing.
In a big way.
Absolutely.
In a huge way. I mean, especially on the offensive line, the immediate plug and play. The guy who's probably the least of an upgrade is Will Shepherd, our first overall pick.
Right, because Zay was so good already.
Right, but the upside's tremendous. And I mean, I think the upside, especially of our top 4 picks, what those guys could be as far as contributors, not just high-end contributors, but full-on superstars, guys who should be on the all Big 12, preseason watch list types.
Right, for sure.
Yeah, you really understand kind of the high-end talent that was brought in on this transfer class.
Well, and just the difference between last year and this year. I mean, they said it at the end of the last episode of the Coach Prime documentary. Last year they were building a roster. Like, the cupboards were bare, empty. So they just had to get bodies in. This year they're finding starters. It's about improving the top end rather than from improving everything from the ground up.
Yes. Yeah, simply finding guys who can play, let's say.
Right.
No disrespect to the guys
Of
prior,
course,
but
these guys are brought in for a reason, though.
yeah, no, 100%.
You want to tell the people about our friends at Circle K?
Circle K, man. This has been such an awesome partnership. It's kind of amazing because they just opened one up close to my house. So I'm able to enjoy Circle K much easier right now. And they have all sorts of great offers. For starters, super easy to become a member and start stacking those points. You go there regularly for gas anyways. Start buying other items. You want a little drink in the morning, a little snackety snack, what have you. Start accumulating those points and get some bonuses. Easy to download their app. Use our QR code. You can enter your email and phone number to fully enroll. And after that, all you need is a phone number to get deals. And, you just pump that in at the pump. Your first 5 fill-ups of gas are 25 cents off a gallon. That's incredible savings right there. And then your first 5 Polar Pops are free.
Let's go.
What?
Hell of a deal.
And every 6th free on several items such as pizza, roller grill, dispensed beverages, donuts, and more. Sign up with the QR code on screen or visit CircleK.com/innercircle for more information. Circle K, been awesome to work with those guys. Can't wait for some of the other stuff we have coming with them. But yeah, check them out. Stop out Circle K. Get in on becoming a member. Download the app. All that fun stuff. And take advantage of these amazing deals.
I love Circle K. I love Breck Brew as well.
Ooh-wee.
I wasn't here last night, but I imagine last night could have been one of the all-time nights here.
Oh, yeah. I heard it was just riotous
Electric.
for these 2 dubs. Just incredible stuff.
Unfortunately, RK and I were hanging out watching the Buffs get absolutely destroyed.
Boy, oh boy.
I watched him pull out one of the most miraculous Madden wins I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
It was ridiculous.
What an active evening for you.
Yeah, it was a
huh?
good time. But anyway, shout out to Breck Brew. Come down to the DNVR bar. Beer of the month is still the Christmas ale? January?
Let's send it.
Okay, let's send it. Come down and get the beer of the month for $6 here. Try some of our favorites: Avalanche Amber, Mile High City Golden, Broncos Country Pale Ale, all that good stuff. Check out their seltzers. Breck's just the best. Use their beer locator at www.breckbrew.com, and you can find a Breck Brew near you.
Nailed it.
All right, so let's talk about. I want to get first your thoughts on defensive coordinator here. I can't remember if we've actually talked, if you and I have talked offensive coordinator on this show or not.
Not on this show, no.
But we need 2 coordinators.
Yeah.
And so, you know ball. You watch the tape.
Sure.
You've watched a lot of these guys that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
As play callers, as head coaches.
Yes.
Let's start with defensive coordinator. We had 6 candidates earlier in the week.
Uh-huh.
See if I can remember them all. Lovie Smith,
Yeah.
Mike Zimmer,
Yes.
Brian Flores,
Yeah.
Ed Reed / Ray Lewis, and Ken Norton Jr. All 6 right there. How about that?
Ed Reed / Ray Lewis. I hadn't heard that one before, Jake.
They've been throwing out Ed Reed and Ray Lewis in the same breath.
Oh, my God.
Hey, they patrolled that Baltimore defense. They were both teammates with Coach Prime back then.
Oh, my gosh. I'm shook.
Sap's already coming in. Why not add more Hall of Famers?
Yeah, I mean, well, you'd really be hurting the U then. Already FSU is in shambles.
That's their
over Coach
fault,
Prime. You'd really be hurting the U then, which sounds good. That is a tough one to evaluate because I'm not as familiar with those guys' schematic resumes. Let's say.
So Ed Reed, we learned, I could pull it up exactly. He was chief of staff at Miami for a year or 2. Here, he was chief of staff from 2020 to 2021 and was senior football advisor in 2022. And then that's when he was hired to coach Bethune-Cookman this time last year. And then we were going through that whole saga with him where everything was just a mess. And he basically just,
Right.
they asked him to leave pretty much.
Right.
Ray Lewis, I don't know what he's doing. I don't think he's coaching either. Yeah.
No, I don't imagine. The only one from college on that list is Ken Norton Jr. then, right?
Yep, current linebackers coach at UCLA.
At UCLA, and he's been around the block at a long time. He was a DC for the Seahawks, 18 to 21, DC for the Raiders, 15 to 17. Coached the linebackers for the Seahawks during the Legion of Boom time. Linebacker coach all the way back at USC in the 04 to 08 days. And now linebackers coach for that UCLA defense, which had me really impressed.
They were fantastic this last year.
They were dominant. He'd be really interesting. With those Seattle chops, would you expect more cover 3?
Interesting.
His fronts have been really aggressive.
Well, look, Travis, you can play any coverage, obviously.
Yes. Certainly.
Cormani, I still believe can be molded into like a man corner.
Absolutely.
He's just got that length. But then again,
as a press cover 3 guy,
exactly,
he'd be spectacular.
So that's intriguing, though.
Right?
Have Shiloh patrolling as like your Cam Chancellor
Yes.
or even your Earl Thomas-ish type of mold. And then Preston Hodge back there, too.
Right. Deep. And
That's intriguing.
Mix and match those fronts. Or Wiggins could be that kind of Michael Bennett big edge that makes it feel like your 4-man front is more like a 3-man front because then one of the edges is heavy, one of the edges is light.
Yep.
Michael Bennett, Bruce Irving. You remember that?
I like this.
Norton would be really intriguing for me. Kind of feels like at a great point in his career. Lovie Smith would be very intriguing. I mean, let's face it, Lovie, say what you will about Lovie as as a head coach.
Sure.
But as a defensive mind, this is one of the guys who, has really established that cover 2, that Tampa 2, taking it to other levels and stuff. And, just a phenomenal teacher and a guy who can really coach defense and can really coach it, especially on the back end, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just let the guys up front, one gap, and get after it. And then we're going to have some fun on the back end. And in the Big 12, against maybe more spread offenses, I'd love to see that cover 2 that often transforms into almost cover 4,
Yeah, pretty much.
One and the same.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. And how that could neutralize these deke and dunk, spread, air raid, fast-paced tempo. That'd be really intriguing. And I think Lovey would really fit the personnel they have.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Travis can play anywhere.
Right.
But as as your Peanut Tillman,
oh, yeah.
it's like, hey, just read and react. We've already seen things that it's like,
Yeah.
holy like this kid's ability to read and react and jump on the ball is like
It's world class.
a few others we've seen,
Yeah.
even in the pro guys like us who study this shit, been doing it for 20, grinding tape for a while.
Yeah.
Very intrigued. Brian Flores, oh my God. I mean, what a coordinator. He's been molded by Belichick.
Mm-hmm.
What he's done with Minnesota this year is absolutely amazing. And he's turned that defense around. They don't even have a ton of superstars, They're just he's just making it work. In the college game, I wonder how that would work. I've probably broken down B-Flow before. More NFL. It's a lot more different looks, more exotic fronts, more mix and match coverages. There's less of an identity I can break down right off the top, like Ken Norton Jr.
Right.
or Lovey. And that's appealing, right? Be multiple like that's very appealing. It's also like, a guy like that's coming the way Coach Lewis was coming, right?
Right.
This is kind of it's a cool test in between head coaching jobs, essentially.
For sure.
And so if we're doing that, I'd love someone that could help me more establish a long-term schematic identity than more of a genius who can come in, mix and match, diversify you, but then when he leaves, we're back to kind of step one.
Right,
right. And then Ed Reed and Ray Lewis. Is there anyone who else did I forget? Am I forgetting there?
Mike Zimmer, but
Zim's really interesting. I love Zimmer.
he is. But my whole thing is he was so heavily rumored last year. Coach Prime mentioned him by name multiple times, saying he was coming, and he never came. I feel like this situation kind of passed by already, or this possible, reuniting between the two, because they were at Jackson together.
Is he basically just collecting checks from having the last NFL
still
team that
getting paid?
fired him?
Is the Vikings still paying him?
Gosh, I can't even remember. What was he up to last? Before Coach Prime entered his life.
That was it. He was Vikings head coach from 2014 to 2021. Was Jackson State analyst / consultant in 2022. And haven't heard much from or about him since.
And he comes from that Cincy. He's another cover 2 guy, I think.
What I remember from Minnesota, they did that double A gap pressure a lot. They like to stack the front up, kind of spread it out.
Yeah.
Walk 2 guys up there, and then they obviously drafted a ton of cornerbacks.
Yep.
That could have been more just George Payton at that time, or whoever was calling the shots.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what when I think of Mike Zimmer's defense, that's what I think of. Those 2 linebackers stepped right up in the center's face.
Right, and then they had those big-ass defensive tackles that could kind of
exactly.
Take up 3 gaps on their own.
From what you said, Ken Norton Jr., I mean, that intrigues me the most.
It's really intriguing.
It's just what we talked about on Tuesday, RK and I, is that, Coach Reed of 247's out here tweeting it's a splash. all due respect, Ken Norton Jr., I don't think we're making a splash with Ken Norton Jr.
No. It's more of a normal hire, right?
Of course, yeah.
You're upgrading a really good linebackers coach who has experience as a DC. It's not splashy.
No, I think it'd be a fantastic hire.
But yeah, I mean, Brian Flores, for example, quite a bit more flashy.
Just the name alone there,
Yes. Yes. Yeah, is Lovie Smith the kind of splash you're thinking of? I'm not so sure.
He feels more like a splash to me. That's who we kind of singled out as the favorite on Tuesday. That's still kind of the direction I'm leaning. Unless
Those guys would be really cool.
there's a mystery candidate out there who we haven't talked about. Real quick, let's switch to OC before we wrap this up then.
Okay.
Pat Shurmur sounds like he's going to be the favorite.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, this is a saga that's been going on 3-ish months now. Basically, since what game was it? Oregon State was the first game they made the change for Pat Shurmur. So beginning of November.
Right.
Either way, we haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
And to me, what I think is going on is they're waiting on someone. They're waiting to hear from someone who is potentially still coaching, still playing, or is trying to gauge the NFL market and see if they could potentially join or rejoin an NFL team. Someone like Byron Leftwich, who spent the year off, who was obviously an NFL quality offensive coordinator.
Certainly.
Brett Bartolone was the other favorite we talked about. After that, you kind of get into, Dana Holgerson's, the Brennan Marion at UNLV, these current and former OCs.
Yeah.
And then your long shots, guys like David Shaw, Chip Kelly. Eric Bieniemy is a name we threw out there too.
When you started describing the profile, Bieniemy was kind of a, I wonder if.
There's too much to overcome, I think, to bring him back, though.
I know. And EB's done this before.
Mm-hmm.
His commitment to his alma mater, unquestionable. His chops as a play caller, can't be questioned either. Just, doesn't feel like right time in his career.
Yeah.
Leftwich would be really intriguing. Chip Kelly would be amazing.
Leftwich really intrigues me just because of the Brady triangle. Obviously, Shedeur and Brady's got the relationship, but then you add in Leftwich, too, who coached him.
Yeah. I know. That'd be something. I'd love a Dana Holgerson, but what you just said for Leftwich, I think you're right. I think Coach Prime's thinking, I want more of an NFL mind.
Pat Shurmur is definitely too.
Shedeur, right? I mean, that was part of the selling point for Shurmur. So I'd be surprised if they went heavy on a guy who has a very college offense identity.
Right.
And that includes Chip Kelly, honestly.
Sure. I mean, I completely get it. I just feel like I don't know how many more head coaching chances Chip Kelly's going to get.
No, I know.
So
I know. Is there anyone we're overlooking?
I don't know. I truly don't know.
What's your preferred combo of those
Preferred
coordinators?
combo of all of those.
Give me preferred and then your prediction, your most likely.
Okay, so I would love to have Chip Kelly as the offensive coordinator.
Jeez.
However that
Insane.
however that works.
God, that'd be insane.
They're still hiring coaches and stuff, so I don't think he's leaving. But I think that'd be so much fun. Brennan Marion really intrigues me.
Yeah.
UNLV OC. So one of those two, and then I'd throw either Lovey or Ken Norton Jr. out there. Who I think it's going to be is Pat Shurmur, and at this moment, I'd say Lovie Smith. That's who I think it's going to be.
Be bad. Two guys who were head coaches in the NFL just a couple years ago.
Yep.
I think my personal preference, I think Chip Kelly's just straight up unrealistic.
I agree. No, I agree.
And not a recruiter, so I don't know if he even fits.
A lot of weird stuff going on out there.
You're right. would be like, would a Cliff Kingsbury be?
He made the list too. Yep, he made the list too.
Right? Because why not?
Of course. Look at the quarterbacks he's coached.
I'd go Dana, offense, Ken Norton Jr. defense.
That'd be fun too.
Dre's picks, you know.
That'd be fun too.
Yeah.
We'll see though. We continue to wait.
Await patiently, yes.
Shout out to our good friends over at Backus and Shanker. They're here to help Colorado families win and have been doing so for 25 years. No fees to speak to them about your case, no fees while they work on your case, and no fees unless they win your case and win money for you. You can go check them out in Denver, Aurora, Englewood, and Fort Collins. They got more than 30 lawyers and 100 people on staff. They've won over $1 billion for their clients. So if you are injured in a car accident, motorcycle, rideshare, pedestrian, trucks, or even at work, you know who to call. Smash the 222-2222 to find out if you have a case for free. Backus and Shanker wins.
Boom.
Boom.
Well done.
All right. We're going a little long, so let's get through these questions.
Oh, no, we've gone long? Alyssa, no other guest on this show goes
It's always
long.
you, huh?
Like, I'm just like talking ball with you guys. You like
It's
if you want
great.
to cut us out, you know, like cut me off.
No.
You can move on. It's total.
We got
I'm not gonna
5
be
questions.
offended. Let's go.
We have
Let's
5
go.
questions.
I love it.
Get your super chat in now if you want it. Also, like the show.
Yeah, leave us a like so I don't get bullied by the Buffs in the office that the numbers are down when Arcade's going.
Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well.
Damn straight.
All right, Justin. Is the book just trying to limit exposure on a huge amount of money coming in early?
You do want. They are such a public heavy team.
Yeah.
You do
That is
wonder
true.
how much that could. But then,
Aren't you kind of
you know,
inviting
Justin,
it in?
right?
though?
Like the point of the sportsbook business is to get people to bet on your app. It's not to keep them away.
Right.
And if Shedeur's so hot, then just make him the betting favorite. Put him at plus 200.
Right. Yeah, if you think he's that much of a liability,
There's an easy solution to this.
yeah, that would be the way to fix it. If you think it's a liability, make him a
Yes.
heavy favorite,
Yes.
or make it almost not worth betting on. Don't make him plus 10,000 or whatever it is, where you could get
Right.
murdered,
Right.
just destroyed. Good
These
question.
Bucks,
though.
man.
Colorado Buff says, "Will Shedeur make All-American?" Ooh,
Heavy competition, but this would be a great year to do it.
I mean, in terms of returning quarterbacks, we just went through a bunch of them with those Heisman odds.
for sure.
For my money, it's all Shedeur Sanders, man. No
Sure,
one just has
I
the
mean-
poised talent combination.
I think it's going to be him and Carson Beck. And Carson's losing a lot of weapons at Georgia, you know? But, I mean, I think those are the two guys I'd put my money on.
So Jaden Daniels won it this year, and second team was Penix.
Yeah.
Do we have an honorable mention? I don't see one.
I actually think there might have been a third team, and that was Bo Nix.
Oh, was there? Okay. So there you go. If Bo Nix can do it, Shedeur can. I believe in him.
No doubt. We believe. We are believers,
Of course.
Jake.
Master Stickwork says, any word on any linebackers or DTs committing? I haven't really heard too much.
No,
It's been
huh?
quiet.
We're
been
in
quiet.
between signing days and portal closing.
Yeah.
A little calm before the storm right now.
This week, other than the Charles Kelly stuff, this week was very, very chill, which is kind of weird for this team.
Yeah, it is. How much of that? I mean, we're asking about two defensive positions. How much of that is because, you know, things are a bit on hold with the changeover at DC?
I mean, I think it's completely valid. Charles Kelly was out last time. I think you were on the show. He was out at Buford,
Yeah, that's
like
right.
recruiting his ass off.
Right, like recruiting,
So
offering 6 guys from 3 different classes. Like, yeah.
Exactly. So that could be something, but they
Yeah.
obviously haven't shown a real they don't feel like they need to name an OC yet.
Right.
So I don't know if that's going to take that long too. I mean, obviously they're going to have to make a decision at some point, but they really are just taking their time.
Yeah. Makes you wonder.
DJ says, do you think there isn't enough talk about everyone returning who have had a year to develop and now will give better depth? Talking about, I'm assuming current roster. That's what he's talking about. We'll talk about this.
Some of the younger cats, I mean, yeah, it's a good point because this roster, that's the thing. All these coaching changes, they add up. And it's not even your immediate starters. It's the guys who you're developing for the next year or so.
We will definitely
and
get
that's
to
where
this.
some continuity should really help. If
not next week, very, very soon after that. Talking about breakout candidates who are returning.
Right.
It's a great conversation to have, and you look at who they brought in last year, a lot of young guys. This is a pretty young team. Last year's team was.
Yeah.
They're going to be another year together. Like, this isn't... There are more common instances, I guess, where more traditional recruiting, high school recruiting, where they stay together for longer. But in this portal era, this team is returning a lot.
Oh, it's huge.
Jay says, don't you guys think we need to have an offensive and defensive Heisman? It has become the New York City annual quarterback award. Yeah. It's...
I know.
I don't know, because when you do that, though, I feel like the Heisman Trophy kind of loses its meaning.
It's not the Heisman anymore.
Yeah.
I know.
That's what makes those seasons so special. Like when Devontae Smith wins it and...
Yes, absolutely.
You have a running back for 2,000 some yards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or when you get the rare defensive finalist. And look, even years where we get Jaden Daniels or Lamar Jackson, like the winner isn't from one of the top 5 teams, I think that's good for the sport as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that like opening up the playoffs gets us focused on a bit more than just the same old 2-3 teams, the same old 2-3 quarterbacks, and this award that's so special and unique can go back to being a slightly better representation of all the things that make college football so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And, exciting and unique to follow.
It's, I don't know. I don't know what you do to fix it because it's just not the same anymore for whatever reason.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Any last minute super chats or anything? Yeah, kind of a chill week for the show, really.
Love that for us.
I mean, that means that something's going to be coming down the pipeline sooner than later.
Well, you're waiting on plenty of news, so
We
it's going
really
to come
are.
sooner or later.
Coach is sitting on a lot right now.
Always fun. Never a dull moment, Drake.
Cannot wait for spring ball. Cannot wait.
That's going to be dope, for sure.
All right. Appreciate you, Dre. You're the best, brother.
You are the best. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Yes, sir. Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.